Being smart doesn't entitle you to more civility. It just doesn't. Of course, being sexy like me does entitle you to more civility. So I do expect the occasional bow and things like that, you know, but I don't expect them to call me anything different. Just bow. I don't think that's too much to ask. I think that's too much to ask. How's the fuel? We got no fuel. Fuck. Fuel missing. Sexy bastard at life. Right? Sexy mother. I just wanted an even number. I can't deal with it, man. I can't deal with it. I wanted an even number. We're only gonna need like 28, right? Alright, good. Just to get some more queued up. I don't know, OCB. You were just here. I don't do shoutouts all the time, you know what I mean? But when I remember, I don't mean to offend anybody by not shouting people out. But when I remember, I do say. And sometimes the mods do it without me even asking, so, you know. But, you know, you should always get a shout out, to be honest. I think it'd be weird to be called Dr. Bambi. I want to go for my PhD, but I don't think I want to be called Dr. Dr. Bambi's in the house. Dr. Bambi in the house! Beautiful, that'll be enough to get us there and back, that's fine. Let's go! Let's go digging. I think we'll dig for a change. For a bit. Right? I think it's only fair, really, to do a little bit of digging. I like digging around. Well, I haven't got the command because I don't normally do them. It's just, I don't make a point of going OP and, you know, just constantly shouting people out. But I do shout them out. You know, I do shout people out. And if you were here the other day, OCB, you'll realize that the reason why I don't go over the top with shouting people out is, quite honestly, it's near enough useless. It's near enough useless, OCB, right? We got 50 people in here right now. Now, granted, most of them probably follow you already, okay? But even if they didn't, you'll find that I would shout you out and probably not one of them would follow you. Not one. So it's almost a pointless endeavor, you know? It's nice to recognize it, it's nice to say hello, it's nice to let people know, you know, verbally, that hey, this guy's a streamer, go check him out sometimes if you see him stream. Which is what I more likely do. That's what I do more often than anything else. I do say, oh, do check him out, by the way, he's a really cool streamer, you should blah blah blah. If you ever see him streaming, do, you know, do tip in and watch. But shouting people out, it doesn't really do anything. I said on Saturday, OCB, last stream we did, right, on Saturday, I give an example. I was in Elohim's stream one time, and he's an awesome guy. He's a fucking awesome streamer. I love watching him. Probably one of my favourite streamers on Twitch. And I was in his stream one time, and I used to sub to Elohim. I ran out of money, so I stopped subbing. But I used to sub to Elohim all the time. And on one time, he shouted me out when I resubbed, right? He was like, oh, by the way, guys, Bad Buck is an up-and-coming streamer, and do go and check him out, check out his channel. He had 3,000 people watching him at the time. One person, because I have my alerts on all the time. So if I'm at my computer and someone follows, even if I'm offline, I hear it and I know someone's just followed me, right? And one person followed me out of 3,000 people that were watching him. One person followed me. And do you know who it was? One of his moderators. And I don't think they're following anymore. So, it's like, it's near enough pointless. And someone else in the chat gave another example, exactly the same. There was someone, they were in a channel and someone gave them a shout out. And the guy had 21,000 viewers. And he gave him a shout out. 3 people followed. You'll find that you'll go into a channel and you'll be like, you know, even you'll give people a shout out, you know? You'll be like, oh, do check out fucking Bad Butt, whatever, when you're streaming. And honestly, I could tell you right now that nobody will actually follow. No one will actually do anything about it. They'll just go, oh yeah, whatever, just keep streaming, bro. I'm watching you. I don't really care about who else you're shouting you out. You know what I mean? No one really acts on it. You know, it's nice and it's a kind of polite thing to do almost, but no one really ever acts on it. Which is why I don't do it all that often, you know? I say to people in the chat, and I think this is more effective. I say, look, if you ever see them streaming, it's an awesome stream and I do enjoy watching them, you know? Or I say, like, I watch Stalker Coffee every morning before I start stream. So you guys know, you get it ingrained in your head that every day I watch Stalker. I watched them again today. I watch Stalker Coffee before I start streaming. Because he streams before me in the morning. And so you guys know who it is I watch, who it is I like, who it is I, you know... and I watched Elohim again this morning because he streamed this morning, Elohim. And so you guys get to know that. And to be honest, I think that's more meaningful because that will hopefully let you guys know that actually it is someone that I watch. It's not just someone that comes into the chat and I go, oh, I'll shout him out because he's a streamer. I never get a chance to watch him, but you guys should all go and watch him. And everyone's like, really? Well, if you're not watching him, why should I watch him? Do you know what I mean? So I don't really do shout outs. You know? And again, I think hosting and raiding are a far more effective thing, Scantly, right? So if I'm in OCB's channel and watching OCB after my stream, I would, if I was in there watching him, I would host him. And if I'm hosting him, I think that is a far more effective way of me showing you guys as a community that, look, this is what I'm watching. I'm watching this guy right now. And the reason I'm watching him is because I like it. And so you should watch as well. And I think that's far more effective than me just saying, oh, everybody go follow OCB. And everyone's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to go follow anyone. Because no one ever does it. No one ever does it. And that's the truth of it. You know, whether, you know, so I hope that nobody ever feels put out if I don't shout them out. Because I just don't think they're very effective. I just don't think they're very effective. And I agree with you, Scantly, that raids are probably the most effective way of showing someone another streamer, right? Of helping a streamer out. Because when I raid, then even the lazy ones who can't be bothered to click on a follow button or whatever are forced, effectively, to go and watch that other person. Right? Are going to go and watch that other person. Because suddenly my channel was switched to their channel. So that is really, really effective. The only problem with raiding is, of course, they have to be online when you go offline. Right? So that's the only problem with raiding. Otherwise, it's the most effective method, really, of showing your community another stream. Raiding is easily the most effective method. Hey, Jerry Springer, how you doing? Yeah, I think hosting is a far more effective method, Bolero. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I very rarely click on people as well when someone shouts them out. I very rarely do. And I just know from experience that no one else does either. Or very few people ever do. Very few. And I find the ones that do, and this might be harsh and very generalizing, right? But I find that if I'm in a channel and someone shouts me out, right? And I suddenly hear, ooh, a follower. And I'm like, oh, someone just followed me from that shout out. And I will look at the follower. I'll look at Streamlabs and I'll see who it was that followed, right? I can almost guarantee that person will unfollow again within the next few days. Because quite often the person that does that, that follows just on a whim, is often someone who is very transient on Twitch. They're just constantly going to whatever stream. And they'll never end up watching. And then in a week or so, they'll just unfollow again. Because they've never watched you. So they'll follow just for the sake of it. And that's it. Yeah, Bazizzle. That's very kind of him. That's very kind of him. But, you know, and that's why I don't really like it when I go into a stream and someone shouts me out. So, when I go into a stream, I'm not really all that fussed whether someone shouts me out. Honest, genuinely. In fact, sometimes it's a bit awkward and I'd almost rather they didn't. Because you end up gaining followers who don't stay. They'll leave anyway, right? If they were going to follow you, they'd find you. They'll find you anyway. Hey, Robomaster. Someone's knocking on my door downstairs, but I really don't want to go and answer it. Should I go and answer it? I can't go and answer it, can I? I'm streaming. I shouldn't knock on the door. I've just shoved something through the door. Give me a second. God damn it. Wait, what? Did you not even know I was there? This dude didn't even know I was there. Rip. It was the postman. He was delivering something from Amazon that my wife has ordered. I don't know what it is. Fuck knows. But he banged on the door, and then when we didn't answer, he just shoved it through the letterbox anyway. And you just think, well, if it fit through the fucking letterbox, why are you banging on the fucking door? Just stick it in the letterbox. Dude, fucking hell. That's another story though, OCB. I find that very awkward when you get called out in a channel, and so many people have been doing that lately when I go into their channel. It almost makes me not want to go in the channel. If they're gonna call me out from lurking. Because, you know, I don't get an awful lot of time, right, to do whatever I want to do. And so I've only got a very limited time to go into a channel and stuff. And if I go in, especially if it's a quiet channel, right? If it's someone that I know who doesn't have very many viewers and I'm going in just to check them out or say hello or whatever, you know, and I like the channel, whatever, that's cool. But if you then get shouted out, you feel obliged not only to remain, but you feel obliged to then start up in conversation and keep their channel busy, right? And I've got other shit that I've got to be doing, quite honestly. You know, I'm often busy doing other things. And I'm like, man, I ain't got the time for long-winded conversations. So I think if I go into this channel, they're gonna see me in the chat, and then they're gonna shout me out, and then they're gonna start engaging me in a whole bunch of conversation that I don't have time for. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll just not go in. You know what I mean? She has her own Amazon account, Rednecked. I've made sure they're separate. So sometimes I'll avoid going into a channel that I would have otherwise watched, just because they're going to shout me out. I don't know I'm bleeding, I just don't care. I was in X Pepper X channel yesterday. I was in his channel yesterday and he was saying the same thing to me. Because he lurks in my channel every so often and I've never shouted him out. Right, I've seen him lurking in the chat, and I know when he's here. Yeah, right, Bazizzle. And I've seen him lurking in the chat and stuff, right? But I'd never shout him out. And when I went in his channel the other day, he was streaming. When I went in his channel the other day, I was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" And he's like, "Oh, Budbuck, how's it going? Long time, not seen you in a very long time." Because I haven't been in his channel for maybe 8 months or something, a long time. And because I've been too busy. He streams away at the same time as me. He's probably streaming right now.